Hey gang, Jamie Aston. We're now in the kitchen and we're going to look at some of the tomatoes I picked from my garden. We're also going to look at some of Jacqueline's tomatoes I got from her. Number one, these are my Cherokee purple. Some of them, as you see, they're not completely purple. So why did I pick them? Well, I have some neighbors that are going through and picking some of my vegetables, which is fine, but they're starting to pick these a little too early, so I don't want them just to take my Cherokee purples. Um, so I want to try them. So I picked them a little early. Maybe they'll ripen up a little bit for me inside. Um, these are my early girls. All of these red ones are early girls. What these yellow ones are, I got from Jacqueline. These are called Golden Jubilee. Golden Jubilee. So I got a couple from her before they start to go bad. So I want to use those, eat them. And then she has some black cherry tomatoes. And these are picked just to, well, they're right. But they're all good. I've been eating tomatoes today, and so they're all really good. That one was really good. Doggone, that was really good. But yeah, just enjoy them. So what I'm gonna do with things, I don't want to see a tomato go bad. And when I was in Arkansas, one of the news reports were talking about how wasteful people are, and we're very wasteful as a as a people right now. These days and times, whether it's meat or vegetables or cell phones or anything like that, cars, we don't use things to get the most out of it. We let emotion and having the latest or something that looks the best, things like that, decide when and how long we use something. You'll kill an animal just for one cut of meat versus, and then you'll talk about someone for eating a different cut of meat. And then we put these ideas of classes and, you know, wealth and all of these type of silly things, when the bottom line is that when you take a life, you should be, using it for the most that you can. And same with vegetables. You're talking about tomatoes and other plants that won't sell in the store because they don't look right. Overgrowth and things like this, and people won't buy them. So a store won't have them in the store. So I mean, they won't buy it from the farmer. So the farmer might lose money, but not only lose money, that's good food that could be eaten. Especially for these places where you can give it. It's not just something that should be given to the homeless or to some type of some tax write-off center or something like that. This should be something that we should all be eating and buying and utilizing, because this is still a life. Even though it's a plant, you should want to eat it. So one of the things I'm going to be doing with mine, how would you preserve a tomato? Well, it's not so much about, see, I was waiting too late on these. They were already starting to bust open. They were just getting too big. But these tomatoes are going to be used to make maybe a pizza sauce or a marinara sauce. That's what I'm going to be doing with these, cooking them down. And so that's how you're going to preserve it. Another way you could do it is dry it. Sun-dried tomatoes. You can get a dehydrator and then dry your tomatoes out. Now you have some tomatoes that are just really good to eat, just like that. Put a little garlic or olive oil or anything on it that you want. You can really turn them into a nice delicacy that people would then go and pay a lot of money for. That's the funny thing. Certain cuts of meat or certain vegetables, we look at them, or fruit, we look at them and we say, I wouldn't eat that. But those are the same fruit and vegetables or meats that are being put into certain sausages or sauces or things like that. We want to see something so clean and sterile, which is just ridiculous. So let's stop being so wasteful. Sorry for the PSA, but especially I guess I put my time into the garden. Even when I put my time into going fishing, and I keep fish bagged up and things like that, I try not to waste any of the fish, so I don't fillet everything. And one of the things my mom is now encouraging me to do, which I do now, is even when I fillet a fish, I will save the backbone. Mine's the ribs. I can cut the ribs off and things like that, and I have that meat that's on with the bone, with just the spine. And after you cook it, that meat just pulls away from the bone. You can't, bite. You can't choke on one of those bones. It's not one of the ribs or anything like that. So that's pretty doggone awesome. We just have to be better about saving and conserving what we have, using the most of it, and going back to a time where, we live in this time like we just have everything. Everything is so convenient. That's why the stores mass produce everything, phones, cars, everything. But if we were to go back to a time where things were a little bit harder to come by, we couldn't have an apple year round. You only got that apple once, one time of the year, and then the rest of you had to preserve it and make jams. Everything was so much more. It was special when you actually got to see that fruit in season, or get to have something when it was new, and you appreciated it and you kept it and took care of it. If it was an item or a tool or some things were built to last, those times are going away. So we need to be taking, at least I'm taking more of a stance on my everything I do in life, not only when it comes to food, but things I buy. I try not to be so wasteful. It needs to last. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses or the Smiths or the Williams or the Jenkins or whoever. I'm not trying to look a certain way for you all or anyone around me. I'm Jamie Aston. I am who I am, and I do things I do for me, and not only for me, but now I have to start thinking about, you got your family name and everything else. But I digress big time. You all, I have some lovely tomatoes. I'm gonna be making some sauces out of these, eating on the rest of them, and man, this has been an episode in the garden, well, in the kitchen. You all take care.